Similarly, LPT Realty, if you're a real estate agent, the company I work for now, the brokerage I'm with is expanding nationally. So I get calls from people all the time saying, hey, I've heard about LPT and I'm in Texas, or
Nice.
heard LPT's coming to California, heard LPT's coming to Canada. So it's a similar footprint where you can, in our model, I get a financial benefit to help that. And obviously you do too by opening up those other markets with your brand. So when I bring or sponsor agents into those other areas, I actually do get a financial benefit for sponsoring them. So it's a really neat model that they've really kind of tweaked. And I think it's stuff they learned from other industries. And so if you are a real estate agent thinking about a change, go to jointheduo.com. You can click to set an appointment directly with me, us to talk to you either about our team, or if you just want to run your own business in LPT Realty, we can talk to you about that as well. So what, as you kind of expand outside of Tampa Bay, are you looking at specific markets, or are you more about finding the right partner in those areas?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of both. So we just opened up a location this month, actually down in Naples, and it was a team member of ours, Ashley. She's our chief of staff. So
I saw that. She moved there, which made it a logical play to open a spot there.
She's actually worked remotely from Naples throughout the time she's worked with us over the last several years. So she came from Sotheby's, so a real estate firm. She knows a lot of contacts down there. And it's interesting because I know moving companies that come to our conferences or moving Titan retreats that have vacation homes down in Naples.
Yeah.
And I actually know some that have some here in the Tampa Bay area.
That's awesome.
So we're able to connect. And then I always like to invite realtors out to those events because they can meet moving companies in other states that are moving people into Florida.
Potentially for referral.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's a great idea. And so, so as you kind of forecast next year, what are some of the things that Two College Brothers as a moving company wants to do kind of in the next 12 months? What are some goals or some things you want to accomplish, or just some things you want to tell our audience?
Yeah. So, I mean, we're hoping and praying interest rates drop and they continue to drop over the next year because, obviously when they shot up, it slowed business down quite a bit. Transactions became more delayed. A lot of our marketing sources that were directly to newly listed and pending homes kind of really fell off. And those were some of our best marketing sources before. So we had to get creative and find some new things. So definitely hoping for that. But really, we want to dig deep into the markets that we're in right now. I think with the Naples opportunity, it kind of fell into our lap. If we find a partner in another market, I'd love to get somebody great over in Orlando and just kind of create just this triangle. But we're not aggressively looking to pursue those other markets.
It's more just if you find the right situation or person.
Yeah. Kind of if it's a good person that comes from a good market where, we can do a good competitive analysis, then we're certainly open to that idea. But there's so much room to grow here in Tampa, especially with how the interest rates went down and a lot of moving companies kind of shriveled up or disappeared.
So now you can gain market share. Yeah. And that's similar to me, obviously the last couple of years, if you look at, a lot of my business is geared around marketing to home sellers, the goal of getting a listing and or buying the home directly, which we do too. But so a lot of our marketing, when the market goes, I'll just use a national number, from 3.8 million homes in the bust. Okay. That was like the inventory when the market crashed. So now a record low, we're like at 1.3 million. Oh, wow. So the idea that our market is in trouble of a crash just says there's just not enough inventory. 40% of homes owned today in America don't have a mortgage, and a large portion of the people that do have mortgages are on really low rates that if they had to, or if they hit a glitch, they could just rent their house out and cover for more. So the reality is we're kind of in this market where rates are gonna have a major impact on what happens next year. If rates drop, we're gonna see transactions increase, no question about it. Now, I would tell a lot of people that I think it's a mistake to wait for rates because you can always refinance and get the rate lower. Right. But when rates start dropping, prices are going to rise. You know, and we just still have so much demand here that if we do see, as most mortgage bankers are predicting, most of the entities that predict mortgage rates are predicting several rate drops between now and next summer. If that happens, we're going to see a frenzy and bidding wars and all that again, and people overpaying for homes and all that's going to come back. So I think smart money buys right now and then refinances in a year. If they can make the rate happen, if they can afford it for a year, I think that's a smart play. But there are a lot of people that maybe can't qualify or just can't make that happen, and they're waiting for rates to kind of to soften. And so nonetheless, there's no question that as rates drop, we see more transactions. And similarly, as an advertiser, just like you, I've looked at, if we have so many fewer homes available for sale, the cost per impression for me on a lot of marketing platforms doesn't really change that much, despite having so many fewer homes for sale. So I'm paying way more per impression when there's a third of the available home sellers, that will sell, most of them sitting in low interest rate houses that don't want to sell them until they can get something close to comparable to that rate again. So I've had to be kind of boots on the ground, grind some stuff out, do a lot of things differently in my business too, simply because the pool of available people is shrunk.
Yeah.
You know, the pool of people that will sell with rates where they are to go out and buy something else, or that can buy is shrunk. So your cost per impression, all the national or broadcast media type advertising scenarios, they don't really factor that in. Someone's going to pay for that advertising, especially in a political climate. So right now that's a big competitor for me is radio, TV, billboard. There's a lot of that going on. So it's like, if I'm going to get bumped and there's fewer opportunities available for me to sell, why don't I kind of get ready to pounce when the market kind of turns a corner? And I think there's a lot of business owners that have kind of done that this year. They've said, we're going to scale back on the advertising a little bit because there isn't enough of a market for it, and preserve some cash and be ready to kind of attack when the market heads in a lower rate environment.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, there's going to be less competition too. So like when that, once we get past all the elections and all the political ads and stuff like that, I think the marketing is going to not only get cheaper, but there's a shakeout happening.
Yeah.
I'm sure there is with the real estate market too.
Yeah,
a lot of agents that came in,
and they're getting out.
They're getting out.
We're going to talk about that after the break, because I think that's, you mentioned how moving companies are closing, and I think we're seeing the same thing. We're seeing contraction in real estate. We're seeing real estate agents, what I call quiet quit.